So I sold 4 items in my eBay shop today. So in a little while, I'm going to pack those up and get them ready to ship out. And I'll go through the whole process of showing you how I ship them. And also I'll buy the labels and then I'll reveal all my secrets about how much money I make on eBay. So I'll tell you exactly how much money I made on each of these 4 items and how much money I made today and how I'm doing this month and really even for the whole year, how I'm progressing towards my goal. I'm trying to make $50,000 this year. Before I do that, I'm going to give you a little peek into a project I've been working on. This is, for a little while now, I've been trying to come up with a good process for using ChatGPT, AI, to help me with my eBay listings. In this case, what I've been working on for a while is a way to take a picture or several pictures of an item and any text that I could think of that's relevant to the item, and then have ChatGPT do a search of the internet and of eBay and come back with basically all the information I need to know whether this is an item that's worth selling on eBay, how much it's probably worth, how much I should spend on it if I want to buy it at the thrift store or a garage sale or something, the maximum I should spend, and titles, descriptions, all the stuff I need for eBay. So I'm still not 100% sure that this is the final result of what I've been working on, but I'm going to show you my work in progress. It seems to be working okay, but I think what I'm learning is that it's never going to be perfect. So there are some things that I wanted to do that it just will not do consistently, and some information that it's providing me that I don't think is really necessarily totally accurate. So I'm going to go through what I've been doing, and I'll give you a little background on the work that has taken to make this happen. And then if I can, I think I can provide a link so that you can test out my tool and see what you think about it. And then I'll give you all of the prompts you need to do the same thing yourself. And then you can continue to iterate on it and see if you can make it work even better. But I'm just going to have to switch the cameras around here and get a screen capture, and then I'll show you what I've been working on. Okay, so here it is. This is the regular chat interface, like basically the ChatGPT homepage. You would come in here and you would ask it a question like, let's see, what's a question? Hi. You don't have to do this. You don't have to be that polite. Actually, I'm not even going to be polite. I'm just going to say, how do you work? Question mark. And then we'll see what ChatGPT has to say. Okay, very advanced search engine mixed with a helpful assistant. Here's the gist. I'm trained on a mixture of licensed data created by human trainers and publicly available text up until my knowledge cutoff in June 2024. That lets me recognize patterns in language, understanding context, and generate responses that seem natural. So basically, you ask ChatGPT questions and it gives you answers, and you can make these questions as complicated as you want, and hopefully it comes back with answers that are good. It's not always the case. Sometimes it is pretty wild. It comes up with they call it AI hallucinations, where it will just make up information. So you have to be very careful when you're asking it things to double check that information before you go ahead with it and use it for anything important. But you can make your questions, or your prompts, as they sometimes call them, make them more detailed. And you'll see some examples of that where I'm telling it, do not make things up. And hopefully that works. I don't know if it will or not. The other thing is it can remember your previous chats and use some of that information for the future. So if there's anything, if you ask it a question and it's something you think you don't want to appear in a future chat session, you can delete that old chat and tell it to forget that chat ever existed. So in this case right here, it says, okay, first it says what it can do. It says I don't really know anything, but he can do It can use a web search. It can use document search. It can use image analysis. That's what we're mostly going to be doing. It can do, it can create code for you if you're trying to build a website or build some kind of software. It can help you with that. And also it can generate images. So here's the third thing that it says: conversation memory. This is what I was just talking about. I can remember details you share with me. So it says, I can remember details you share with me across chats, like your eBay shop, your YouTube goals, or your dog pineapple. So these are the main three things I've been talking to ChatGPT about, and it certainly remembers it. And sometimes it remembers things that I don't want it to. But so I have been working, I've been using it maybe for the last 2 or 3 months to help me with these things, eBay and YouTube. And I would ask it a question like, maybe I would provide it a transcript of a YouTube video and I would say, what's a good title for this video that would potentially get more people to click on it? I don't know that it's working. My YouTube channel is not blowing up, but it at least points me in a direction where I can say, oh, that's an idea that I can run with. Or I might just see the YouTube title and think, it's perfect. I'm ready to use that. So I've also been using it to, I'll upload images to it and say, what is this thing in this image? Which, people use Google image search for that. I have very little luck with Google image search. I have very, very little luck with eBay's image search. But this ChatGPT image search has been pretty useful for me. So I've been working on this for a while, for a couple of weeks. Mostly I would be going in and just typing out these questions that I have repeatedly over and over again. And then recently, maybe a week or two ago, Justin Resells on YouTube, a guy who is a reasonable guy. If you're a new eBayer and you're looking for advice, I would recommend you check out his channel. He's like, very straightforward, and he's not talking to you about how he makes $100 million a year. He's very realistic, and I said it last night. I don't always agree with all of the things that he says, but for the most part, I think he's on the money. And recently, he did a video where he was talking about how you can make your own GPT purpose-built that just does the one task that you ask it to do, or the list of tasks that you ask it to do in this case. And I didn't know that you could do that. So thanks to Justin, I decided to go ahead and subscribe. It's $20 a month for ChatGPT Plus, and that's what you need to do if you want to save your own purpose-built GPT that does the things that you want it to do and not much else. So that's what I started with, and I've basically given it a series of prompts, and I'll go through what they are and show you what I've been doing. So if you go to the main ChatGPT page and then you go over here and you click this button that says GPTs, this is where there are custom created versions of ChatGPT. So you can if you create one, you train your own GPT, you can make it available to the public to use. So here's some here, like this one called Write For Me, which who knows what it does. Let's see if we can figure out. Write a 1,000-word essay. What are some little known hacks for creative writing? So it's got a bunch of things that it does. I guess this would just help you. You want to write something, you might say, I need a story about whatever subject, and it will write it for you. So there's a bunch of those, but what we're looking for is our own GPTs that we created right now. So it's right here up in the top right corner. It says My GPTs. It's also over here underneath this. I have two. One I'm fooling around with, and this one I'm going to show you today. So I'm just going to click on this image search, and this is where I would start right away doing the work that I want this GPT to do. But before I do that, I'm going to show you the back end of what it looks like by going up here to this little drop down and hitting Edit GPT. There's a create here where you can just talk to GPT. You can type, you can talk, you can paste in documents, you can do all kinds of stuff, and just tell it, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, and then just keep refining it until it does what you want it to do. I just went ahead straight into this section that says configure. I named it right here, image search. I didn't put any description. I guess that's probably for If you make it public, people will be able to quickly see what this thing is supposed to do. And then right in this box, I wrote the instructions of what I want this purpose-built GPT to do. And so it's basically to help me do two things. One, decide if something is worth purchasing if I'm at a garage sale or a thrift store based on a photo and a few quick sentences. And then tell me the information that I need to know about it. And then help me to write the listing if I decide to buy it. So let's look at it a little closer. My prompts here. I'm going to open this up in a big window. And let's see, can you see it? I think you can mostly see it. So, all right, so here is what I started with. This is what I'm telling it to do. Before we get to number one, I've got a little preamble. When I upload, this is what I'm asking ChatGPT to do. When I upload an image or a set of images, do the following tasks. Number each section and separate them with a bold separator. So I was having some trouble where it was running everything all together, so I had to tell it specifically that I wanted to separate these sections and to number them as well, because it wasn't doing that. Okay, so then task number one, identify the item depicted in the photos and any accompanying text. In one paragraph, tell me the details of the item. Don't guess. If you don't know, ask for more photos or other details. So that's what I was talking about earlier. I already, it was quickly just making stuff up, and I don't want it to do that. I want it to be based on facts. So I had to tell it to do not guess and to ask for more information if it needs it. Okay, so number two, provide a short list of keywords that I might use to search for this item on eBay. Not a bullet list, just a natural keyword phrase. It was giving me a bullet list, and if I want to copy and paste this to search eBay, there's no way I can paste in a bulleted or a numbered list. If text was included in the original image upload, it should be included in the keyword list. So that's because I would tell it specifically here's a book I'm looking at. I've already looked at the copyright page and I know it was published in 1956. So if it's going to search eBay, then I want it to include that. So in this case, I might take a picture of a book and then just type in the word 1956 and make sure when it's searching eBay that it's using that date. Okay. This is the part I'm having the most trouble with, section 3, where sometimes it is making these links that I'm asking for, and sometimes it is just giving me, it's doing several things. Like it's either going to give me the link exactly how I want it, or it's going to give me a URL that I have to copy and paste into a browser, or sometimes it's going to just say, I'm not able to do links. I don't know why it does it sometimes, and sometimes it says it's not possible, but that's what it's been doing. So if anybody has any insight into how to force it to make hyperlinks, I would appreciate it. Just today, I added the word active and clickable and hyper. So I used to just say provide 2 active links, and it was giving me a lot of trouble. So I'm hoping that just providing this little clarifying sentence helps. Okay, provide 2 active and clickable hyperlinks. One named active should go to eBay search results based on your suggested keyword phrase. That's from section 2, and sorted from lowest cost to highest. This is the way I like to do my research. I want to look at the active listings. I want to see the cheapest one first, so I know right away somebody is selling this thing for $2. I'm not going to want to compete with them and try to sell it for $1.50. So I just skip if I'm looking up something at the thrift store and it's the active results come up and they say $2, $4, $6. I'll just put the thing back. It's not even worth messing around with. Okay, the second link should be named sold and there's a little typo, and should go to search results of that phrase, but this time recently sold eBay listings sorted from highest value to lowest. So when I'm looking at the completed listings, I want it to be in reverse. I want the highest priced item at the top, so I can see these are things that actually sold. I want to see like what's the top dollar that people are getting for it, and very often I want to use the title of that one. If I'm gonna click the sell similar button, I'm gonna do it from the one that sold for the highest amount of money, because it seems like they figured out something that the others didn't figure out. And it's not always the case. Sometimes people have very terrible titles and they still sell things for $20 or $30 more than everybody else. I'm not sure what to read into that, but in any event, I wanted to give me these two links so that when we get to step 4 here, which is estimate the value of the item based on recently sold and active eBay listings, I have those links available. I can just click them and then I can double check his work, ChatGPT's work, and say, well, GPT told me this thing is worth $50 to $75, but I'm looking at sold listings right now and the most expensive one sold for 30. It's not guaranteed that these estimated values are going to be accurate. So you want to be able to double check that. So that's section 4. Okay, section 5 is about sell-through rate, or I think of it as supply and demand more than sell-through rate. And this is about how many of the same item are currently available and how many are recently sold. And that gives you an idea of like if the supply is greater than the demand, or if the supply is so low that you'll sell this item right away. So this section says, tell me the number of active listings for this item and the number of listings sold in the last 3 months. This is a little bit of math that it can do to tell me the percentage of the sell-through rate. Divide the number of active listings by the number sold to determine a sell-through rate. Provide it to me in the form of a percentage. Do not show the math or explain the process. It was giving me like a big paragraph of like, okay, first I did this, then I did this, then I did this. I don't need to know any of that. I just need to know the percentage. So do not show the math or explain the process, just the sell-through rate percentage. That's all I need. Okay, steps. I'm not sure how accurate that is either. I don't think it's very accurate at all, but at least it gives me something to go on quickly and easily. Okay, then this one, again, I don't think it's doing very well. It's not giving me the greatest answers. So if you could think of a way to refine this question, which is basically to take the sell-through rate and then estimate how long it's going to take for this item to sell. This is some kind of math that I'm not really capable of doing in my head. And it's really maybe not all that necessary, but it's nice to know. So section 6, based on the sell-through rate, estimate the length of time it will take for this item to sell. Say, based on STR, this will sell in approximately X days, months, or years, with X being the estimated number of days, month, or years. So it was doing like, it would just say, based on sell-through rate, this will sell in approximately days or approximately months. So I put this second, this addendum to the sentence saying, with X being the estimated number of days, months, or years, it seems to be working better now, but I don't think these numbers are very accurate based on my experience. Okay, now this is one I didn't think of on my own really, but I learned it from Justin in that video that I talked about earlier. I'll try to link it in the description or in the comments, so you can watch this video and see what he is using ChatGPT for. It's not so different than what I'm doing, but I think we both have slightly different ways of attacking this problem. So. Okay, number 7, suggest a maximum price I should pay for this item, assuming I want to sell it and earn 5 times my purchase price after eBay fees of 13 cents, 13% of the sold price. I don't know how much it matters to have grammatically correct sentences, but it doesn't hurt anything to do it. So I'm adjusting this sentence as I'm telling you about it. Again, I tell it, do not show the math or explain the process, just suggest a purchase price. You should say suggested purchase price of no more than X. So this, I really like to make 10 times my purchase price, but often people say 3 times your purchase price is enough to know you're going to make a little bit of profit and not lose money. But 3 times is not great for me, so I'm going to say 5 times. This is a simple edit if I want to change this to 3 or 6 or 10 or whatever. So this one relies on getting number 4 right, estimate the value of the item price of the item based on sold and active eBay listings. So if it can't get 4 right, then number 7 is useless. So it's a process. We're going through it and trying to learn if this works or not. Okay, then we get down to the listing like the help creating a listing. If I do number 1 through 7 and I decide this is an item that I think I can sell based on everything that ChatGPT has told me, now I'm going to start the listing, and I have number 8. Suggest an SEO optimized title for a listing on eBay. It should be as close to 80 characters as possible without going over. So previously, I just had create an SEO optimized title for a listing on eBay. I think it's supposed to be smart enough to go out and learn that 80 characters is the maximum, but that hasn't been my experience. It would just sometimes put out 30 characters or 40. And so then I told it should be as close to 80 characters as possible. And then it started giving me results that were like 84 characters or 86 characters. So like half a word would get cut off at the end. So I told it, Price is right rules here. Should be as close to 80 characters as possible without going over. I don't prefer to have any punctuation in my titles, except if it's like an apostrophe in the name or a dash in a name. But ChatGPT was giving me a lot of results, suggested titles that would have like 2 words and then a long dash, and then 3 words and then a long dash, and then another word and then a dash, and then 2 more words. So in my opinion, that's like, a space, a dash, and a space is 3 characters. If you do that 3 times, you've got 9 characters wasted that you could have put 1 or 2 more keywords that somebody is searching for. Nobody on eBay is ever searching for a dash. So putting that in your title is a waste of a space that you could put something that somebody might actually be working for. So I told it no punctuation. Then it started taking out things from words like, I think Harley Davidson has a dash between Harley and Davidson. Actually, I have a Harley book right here. It does. Harley Davidson has a dash in between it. I prefer to leave it if that's the brand name, or maybe it's a company that is possessive, so it might say like, let's see, what's a company? Mariano's is a grocery store here. Mariano's with an apostrophe S. So it was taking out that punctuation when I told it I don't want it to include punctuation. So now I told it include punctuation only when necessary. For instance, if it is part of a brand name or other word. So I don't know if this is working or not, but in the way I want it to be working. I haven't tested it that much, but this might be something that needs more adjustment to this prompt. Okay, then the final thing I have here is write an eBay description for the item in paragraph format. So it was giving me, mostly it was just giving me bulleted lists. Like it would say material glass, age approximately 1860 or whatever, for something like this light globe. It was telling me all that information, size this big, height this big, and it was putting it in a list. And I didn't really like the look of that. And it was also doing a lot of it was being more judgmental than I would like. It would say something like, this is a beautiful vintage lamp, perfect for your home or for a restoration project. And I don't want any of that editorializing. I wanted to just, this is what I told it. Do not editorialize. Keep it just to the facts. So that's, it seems to be working well with that. It's not adding any of that kind of judgment call stuff about whether you should like this thing or hate this thing that I'm trying to sell. It's just telling it, this is what I know about it. And then it doesn't necessarily know condition. So it was telling me, add condition here, add measurements here. And it wasn't always easy to see where it wanted me to add stuff and not add stuff. So I put a second sentence here, or a third sentence. I think that's actually a fourth sentence. Any details you expect me to add later should be presented in a bold font. So now, theoretically, it gives me a result. It provides a description. There's some stuff that I need to replace later with my own thoughts, and that's in bold, so it's easy for me to see quickly. It was doing a weird thing where it would say like, it wasn't putting this in bold font. It was just saying, like, for instance, it would say, this is an antique lampshade. It's 2 1/4 by 6 inches. the word bold, add details about measurements here. So it was just putting the word bold in there to tell me where to do this, which isn't exactly what I was wanting. So I went to it and I said, do not include the word bold, and then include no other character decoration. It was giving me a lot of characters in different colors for some reason. Like one word would be red, the next word would be green or blue. I don't know what the intention of that was, but it wasn't something that I needed or wanted, so I asked it to not do that. So those are my 9 prompts. I will copy and paste these into the description field of this video, or put that in a comment, a pinned comment. So if you want to try doing this yourself, everything you need to do what I've done so far is right here. If you have better ideas, I'm more than willing to hear them. I would love to hear them. So I'm going to close this right now and hit update on it. And so it should be ready to test. This is where I can get the link to offer. So I'll put that in the description as well. And hopefully somebody can try it out and see what they think about it. So the way this is set up right here is like one half of the page is the work of creating the GPT, and then the other half on the left, on the right hand side, is actually like a testable version of it. It looks a little different without this half, and it looks a little bit different on the phone when you're using the actual live version. You can see right here it says preview. So let's try this. I have a few things that I have sold recently, and I'm going to put some pictures in here to see if it can decipher what they are. So this little piggy bank, I'm going to ship this today. You'll see it later getting packed up and shipped. So it just sold this morning for $12, $12.99. I've got a couple of other things set up here to show you next, but we're going to start with these 3. I know this is Shawnee Pottery, so I'm going to put Shawnee in there, and I know it's a bank. So in earlier test, it was suggesting this might be a salt shaker, because I just put a picture of the front where you couldn't see the slot in the back. So let's see if it figures out that it's a bank without including the word bank. So here it goes. It takes a little bit of time. This is oh, that was faster than I thought. So section 1 is not really that important for making an eBay listing, but it might be important for giving extra details that I'm just interested in, but I didn't want it to go whole hog. I guess that's a pig pun, but I didn't mean it. So earlier, before I told it, did I say? I did not say. Oh yeah, in one paragraph. So it was giving me like reams of information about stuff that I was posting, like basically an entire Wikipedia article. It was overwhelming. The point of this is to not spend a lot of time getting in research rabbit holes, which I'm prone to do. So, okay, this image shows a vintage Shawnee Pottery ceramic piggy bank. So it does know it's a piggy bank. It is shaped like a standing pig with rosy cheeks, wearing blue overalls with black painted suspenders. The coin slot is in the back of the head, and the bottom has 2 open holes instead of a removable stopper, which is typical of Shawnee pieces. I wouldn't have known that. Shawnee Pottery, based in Zanesville, Ohio, produced novelty ceramics, including pigs, during the mid-20th century. So that's just interesting. Here it's offering keywords. I think it's probably too many keywords, so I'm going to go back to section 2 and say provide a list of, right now it says a short list. Provide a list of 3 to 5 keywords. And oh, I lost it. I guess editing it makes it go away. So we're going to have to run it again. Run this again. Add photos. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. We got those selected. Open them up. I'm going to leave out any text here now, because I think it might remember from last time that this is Shawnee Pottery. It does not know that. So let's try it one more time. I'm going to put the word Shawnee back in there again this time. This is getting a little bit long, but I think it's okay. Shawnee. So here we go. It's doing it again. Vintage ceramic bank. It's totally different now. It writes a new thing every single time, although this is very close. It says likely missing a stopper, which it is not missing a stopper. There's no way to get the coins out of this thing except by turning it upside down and sliding a ruler or something in there. So here, active links. This is a good link. It's working. Let's try it. Open link. And now we see there are 3 results for Shawnee Pottery. There's only There's 3 of these. A couple of them have promotions. That's for this exact one. There are some other pig ones that are a little bit different. Here he is. Here he is again. So they're asking 20. I can quickly look at these first 3 and see, somebody's asking 22.50. This one's $12.99. That's what I sold mine for, 14. So we're looking at $10 to $20. Let's go back to ChatGPT and then open this sold link. And then we can see, okay, this is not the same one that sold for 20. This is mine that I just sold today for $12.99. This is the same one with different color paint. It has white pants instead of blue. Sold for $12.99. This is probably the one I based my price on. Here's one, $12.99. So they seem to be right around $12.99. It's not sorting. It is sorting from highest to lowest, so that's good. Okay, back here. Estimated value based on recent eBay sales. This Shawnee Pig Bank typically sells in the range of $20 to $40. So I would say this is a little bit off base, and it is obsessing over this original stopper, which is not. This thing never had a stopper. So okay, it's when we go down to the so it's the price is off. If we run this again, it would probably give us another price range of maybe $10 to $20. Pineapple. You want to come up here? Oh, here's Pineapple. I don't know if you can see him or not, but he came to visit. You good boy? Okay, let's go. Okay, the next thing is, the next section says the sell-through rate. So it thinks there are 18 active listings and 42 sold listings. This is absolutely not true. So I'm not sure how it gets this information, but I think it is possibly just thinking any of those results that came back are the same thing, and they aren't exactly. So it's suggesting a sell-through rate of 233%, which is, if it was true, would be a home run. Even if you're only going to sell it for $10, you got to buy something that has a sell-through rate of over 200%. You're going to sell it quickly. So let's see how quickly it thinks. In section 6, estimated time to sell. Based on this sell-through rate, this will sell in approximately less than 30 days. So if you had a 233% sell-through rate, it would definitely sell in less than 30 days. Suggested purchase price. So this is based on that $20 to $40. Pay no more than $5. I wouldn't pay $5 for something I was going to sell for 20, but someone might. Okay, then section 8, SEO optimized title. I would never put vintage as the first word. I would put vintage at the end. I would think that Shawnee Pottery Piggy Bank. It doesn't have the word piggy in here, so I'm not wild about that. I would want this title to be Shawnee Pottery Piggy Bank Ceramic. It has the word bank in here twice, so I'm going to update this right now. Based on section 8, I'm going to put in here, do not repeat words. So we have a limited number of characters here. Shoot. We have a limited number of characters. We've got 80 characters to fill an eBay title. We're not going to use the same word twice. There's no good reason to do that. Do not repeat words, period. So let's update this again. I think it's updating automatically, but you okay, bud? Let's do it again. Copy. I'm just going to keep doing the same bank until we get results that we're happy with. Open that. There's the 3 pictures. I'm going to put Shawnee in again, just so that it knows, just so that we're doing the exact same thing each time. Shawnee Pottery. Now here it is. Ceramic piggy bank made by Shawnee. It's the same basic information, slightly different wording. This time it took away the information about a missing stopper. It's still giving me keywords that are way too long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've asked it to give me 3 to 5, and it's giving me way more than that. So let's try this again. Provide a list of 3 to 5. Maybe I need to write this in words, but I don't think so. 3 to 5 keywords that I might use to search for this item on eBay. Update. Let's do it again. So I thought I had pretty much gotten exactly what exactly where I wanted these prompts to be, but it seems like they still need quite a bit of refinement. So we'll just keep refining it. When I'm done with this, when I'm done recording this, I'm going to post exactly what I have in the comments. Yeah, it's still giving me way more than 5 keywords, so we'll work on that later. This time says $25 to $45. Seems a little bit high. It's pretty high, really. It's really only worth 13 bucks. I'd say 20 maximum. Maybe if it was a very special one in some reason. This one says we'll sell in approximately 1 month. Don't pay more than $6. Here is the SEO optimized title. I should tell it don't make vintage the first word, because I don't think that I don't think that's a good use of the most important words. The first half, I mean the first 5 words basically of your title are the most important ones. So if you think through, like, it doesn't even have to be like a sentence that makes sense. If you have the 5 words that you think people will be searching for, they should be at the beginning. And then you save the second half of the title for stuff that maybe someone will search for, maybe they won't, but you want to fill it in just in case somebody is searching for it. Okay, so this title is better than the previous one. It already took out the word bank twice based on my prompt. Okay, then the description says, this listing is for a vintage Shawnee Pottery piggy bank featuring a pig in blue overalls with black suspenders. The ceramic bank has a coin slot in the back of the head and does not include a stopper. I would take that part about the stopper out because it never had a stopper. The pig is finished with hand-painted details, including rosy cheeks and a smiley face. I don't know if that sentence is necessary, but it's not going to hurt me to leave it in there. Here's where it's asking me to put in information, and so these words are in bold. That would be easy for me to know I need to put information in here. The item measures approximately, then in bold it says height in inches and width in inches wide. It says marked Shawnee Pottery, which it is not. It is not marked anything. Then it says, please note any chips, cracks, or flaws. That's in bold because it knows I need to replace that with the actual condition issues. Here's something I don't like: a charming collectible piece of Shawnee Pottery. That feels a little bit editorialized, and I don't love that. I would probably cut that out if I was going to use this description. So then the nice thing is it asks for more. It asks if there's anything else you need. So in this case, it says, would you like me to pull the exact highest price sold for this model in the past 90 days? So you know the top end of the market. So sometimes it does ask me questions here that I had not thought of. You know, this is information I would like to have, and I didn't think to ask it. So in this case, I don't need that. I have the sold listings right here, and we can see the highest sold in the last 90 days was $12.99, my own item. So far this is promising but not perfect. I had some other photos I was going to go through, but we've been going for quite a while, so I'm going to cut it here and go and pack up the orders that are going out tonight. So stick around for that. I will be showing you exactly how much money I made today. So if you're interested, I think it's going to be $65. So not a great day, but not a terrible day. So we'll get to that right now. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Pineapple boy, say goodbye. Yo, okay, there's a pretty weird selection of items going out today, including this little piggy bank, which we might as well start with him because the chances of me knocking this over and breaking it are pretty good. So, like I said, sold it for only $12.99. Not a bad amount. I got this. There were some people about a block away from here who were moving. They had a garage sale 2 weeks ago or so to try to get rid of all the stuff out of the house so they could move. I guess you call it a moving sale. And then about a week later, they just filled their yard with all of their stuff and left and just put a sign up that said free, take it. So I got a, what did I get there? I got a little shelving unit that I might be able to use. I got this piggy bank. There was a crock pot I took. I don't know if I'll do anything with that, but I can't remember what else. But this guy was seemingly, for something you get for free. You could sell something like that for $12 and feel okay about making a $10 profit or something like that. This is going to a viewer, one of my few viewers. I don't have that big of a following here on YouTube, so I'm happy to see this going to somebody who will appreciate it. So thank you, Susan, for buying that. I'm gonna get some kind of giveaways for viewers of the YouTube channel, so I could, if you buy something from the YouTube channel, you can make a note in the little field, the notes field when you buy something, and let me know that if you came from YouTube, and then I'll include a little gift or something for viewers. I think I know what I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make something by hand and then make a bunch of them and have them available for anybody who lets me know that they saw me on YouTube. So I don't have anything right now for you, Susan. I'm sorry, but I'll have something soon. All right, pig. This is 1 pound 2 ounces, so 2 pounds. Probably could have made this box a little smaller and made it a little lighter, but I'm not gonna worry about it. 11 by 9 by 7. I was thinking about double boxing this pig, but there is quite a lot of void space protection from the sides on this guy, so I think it's gonna be just fine. Okay, so next, what should we do next? Might as well do these shoes. I've got a box here that's already put together pretty much, so we'll just throw some shoes in the box and move it along. This is, let's see, I think three of the 4 things I've got here I got for free. So these shoes came from it was a garage sale. They called it a garage sale, but it wasn't. There was nothing had prices on it. Everything was just free. They called it a community free sale on there. It was a listing on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something I saw. And so I ran over there and I got 2 pairs of shoes. The other pair, I can't remember the brand, but they're a little higher quality. This Hi-Tec brand, I think it's a Walmart brand actually. So they're not, no, there's not collectors buying these, but somebody might wear them, and hopefully they will. They sold. I had them listed for $24.99 or something. They're not the big valuable item, and an offer came in today for $21. So can't really say no to that. I got them for free. Somebody wants to give me $21, I'll take it. I should have done this box a little differently. I think it's bigger than it needs to be. But what else do I have I can stuff in here? Did I get rid of all those bubbles? I think I still have some out here. Oh yeah. I could make this box shorter right now, but I just don't want to. So I'm gonna fill it up with these air pockets. And even though this is only $21 worth of shoes, I'm gonna protect them the best I can. I don't like stuff like clothing or stuffed animals, shoes or hats. I don't like them being able to shuffle around inside of a package when it's moving. So I'm gonna pack this up as tight as I can with these bubbles, and if I need it, I'll put more paper in here. So I'll put some paper in. I cut this box down off camera just before I started filming the second half of this video, and I should have made it a little smaller, but gets the job done. Okay, now fill my sink back up again. Took my hat off, put it in the sink. Now I'm going to put these bubbles in here. It's too hot for a hat tonight, which is surprising because this is one of the colder days so far this year, this summer anyway. And today it's almost the end of August. I hear people saying summer's over, but still feels summery to me. I think I'm thinking about having a garage sale next weekend and I have a whole pile of stuff over there that I bought that I was not going to be able to sell on eBay. So I just started a garage sale pile and it's getting out of hand. So I think I might do it over Labor Day weekend. 7 by 9 by 7, 17 by 9 by 7. So a weird size box for a pair of shoes, but they're in there. And they're going to, okay, M-N-A-K. Some long names. All right, next we've got this thing I've had for a long time, and I'm surprised. I thought it would sell right away. This Cabbage Patch, little miniature Cabbage Patch, like a vinyl character. I bought him in November of 2023, so not quite 2 years, but getting there. Is it a him or her? I don't know. Comes with a stroller, brand new in the box. The box is folded over and taped. I think there's like residue from a wrapping paper, so this was probably a gift for someone that they never opened. From what year? Does it say? It's got to be late 80s. No, early 80s, 1984. So anyway, I got that at a estate sale. That I clearly remember that sale, so it doesn't seem like it could have been that long ago, but it was almost 2 years ago. I remember there were some board games there, like really, really old board games that I wanted. Somebody else had them, like board games from the 40s. Probably better that I didn't get them. This guy, I paid how much? I only paid $1.25 for it, and I sold it for $14. So, you know, not a huge sale. No real big sales today. So it seems like they go in waves, and maybe they do, who knows. I'm not keeping that kind of data. I'm already tracking enough garbage that will never actually help me. But I had a lot of good high dollar sales last week, and I was hoping that trend would continue, but I think it's right around $100 today before labels. So we probably have between $25 and $40 worth of shipping labels here. So we'll figure out in a minute how much we actually made on this stuff. But like I said, I think it was $100, right around 100. I have some Cabbage Patch Kids on auction that my coworker asked me to sell for her. Asked me if they were worth selling. You know, she was going to just take them to donate them to the thrift store or something. And she said, would you be interested in trying to sell them? And I said, yeah, sure, whatever. But they're really pretty beat up, you know, pretty old ones that were stored in the basement or something. This is going to South Carolina, JB. And so there's 4 of them and some extra clothes and stuff. They're like I said, they're in a little bit rough condition, but those things are so hard to research and price. So I just decided to do it as an auction. This way it gets over quickly and I can get her money. And the last time she asked me to sell some stuff for her, it took several months, and she was very patient and never once asked me what was going on with them, but I felt like I needed to get that money to her as quickly as possible. Okay, this next thing going in this box is a bowling ball. It's going to be very heavy, so I'm going to tape it up pretty intensely. I had that reinforced fiberglass tape, and I would use that on this. I would put a couple of straps around each side to, you know, give it just a little fighting chance to get through the mail without falling into pieces, having the box split open and the contents spill out. But I used that all up last week. Some automotive repair equipment or something, and now I don't have any of that tape. And I just ordered some today, but it won't get here in time. I need to get this shipped out tonight. So anyway, I put a little extra cardboard on the bottom. Hopefully that will keep it a little bit more secure. And I think I'm gonna this is probably overkill. This is definitely overkill, but I'm gonna put some of these corners. I'm gonna put this little reinforcement in the corners, because that's where it's gonna split. If it's gonna split, it's gonna be on the corner. But if I put these in here, again, just a little bit more of a fighting chance. This thing weighs probably, by the time we're done, this is gonna be like 18 pounds maybe. Those things I sent last week it was 2 packages. They were 50 pounds each. I think they got delivered today, so I've been keeping my eye on that. I don't typically, once I mail something, I'm not that worried about it. I don't spend a lot of time looking at the orders that have been shipped until there's a problem. Until I know there's a problem, I'm not looking for one. But that set of packages I was keeping my eye on because they were very heavy. I took them to the FedEx office. I think they were 54 pounds each. And I expected to get some raised eyebrows from the staff there, but no, they just took them and shipped them. No big deal. Okay, so, it's a bowling ball. It's intended to be thrown on a floor, so it can't get damaged too much, I don't think. I shipped some just plain bowling balls without the bag and everything, and in a box like this, had no problem. But this one is bigger and heavier, and it's in the bag. This is an old Brunswick bag. I don't know if somebody's going to use this for bowling. It's just a plain black ball, so nothing fancy inside there. Has their ball rack, and then you're supposed to put your shoes underneath there. I just sold those shoes that came in here a couple of days ago, yesterday or 2 days ago. So this all came from a ransack house, like a estate sale that was over and they just needed to clean the house out so they could sell it. I've talked about this phenomenon quite a lot, and this particular house quite a lot too. It's like I got a lot of good stuff there. I got either 3 or 4 bowling balls like this with the bag and the shoes and everything. And this is gonna be a little bit bigger than 12 by 12 by 12. Shoot. Now I have to use 2 12 by 12 boxes because that metal frame in there is bigger than 12 inches. So how am I gonna do that? I'm gonna cut these flaps off right now. I was expecting this to fit in here with no issue. So yeah, I think I got three sets of bags and balls, and the other ones have like fancier marbleized walls and they look nice and cool. But this is I've sold some balls, I guess, but this is the first from that set I sold. Okay, I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna cut this down like this. Whoops, that much maybe. And I'm gonna try something that I think I heard to not seal this box until you get it on the other box, which doesn't seem like it's making any difference. It's not always easy to get these to go together. Sometimes it's real easy, sometimes it's not. Come on. Okay, whoever told me this was gonna be easier was not correct. So let's just do it the way I know how to do it. So I'm making a cap for this other box. And I made it kind of tall because it needs some good amount of overlap. But I would see how much easier that was. Sometimes you know the right way to do things without even knowing you know it. So I was thinking about like totally covering this box in tape since I don't have any of that reinforced left, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be worth it. I'm gonna pull this open and fill it with paper. So we've got a lot of space to fill in there. I don't want this thing rolling around. These larger boxes are difficult to film because it's also close quarters. You can't see anything I'm doing really. Okay, I just decided to finish this up off camera. It ended up being 22 pounds and it's much bigger than I expected it to be. So I think I might be probably taking this one to FedEx tomorrow. I'll figure it out when I buy the labels, whichever one is going to be the best option. So, all right now I got the 4 boxes. They're all ready to go. I just have to get labels on them. So I'm going to buy those labels now. Then I will come back and tell you exactly how much money we made. Okay, so 4 relatively large packages. This one is definitely going to FedEx. It's just a little too big to go USPS. This one needs a little more tape on it. This is trying to pop up. And I do not want it to pop up. So that one's ready to go. Those shoes. I've already put in a request to have these 3 picked up. They'll just go out on the porch in the morning and my mail carrier will take them when she comes. So let's see. Let's start with the Cabbage Patch Kid and then we'll figure out exactly how much money we made. So I paid $1.25 for that Cabbage Patch Kid at the estate sale. Sold it for $14 even. $7.53 shipping was charged to the buyer, and then the actual shipping was $6.30, so about $1.20 we earned off the shipping. eBay's fees were $3.01, and then I had a promotional fee on that of 48 cents. So total profit on the Cabbage Patch, little miniature Cabbage Patch Kid, $10.49. Those boots, got them for free, sold them for $21 after fees and everything. We made $18.20. So if you have no cost of goods, the amount of money that you get from eBay can be pretty close to the amount that the buyer pays. For instance, this Shawnee this piggy bank, Susan paid $12.99 and I'll be taking home $10.95. So not too bad. No promotional fee on that, just the shipping costs and the eBay fees. So then finally that bowling ball, I had it listed for $50 and I intended to send an offer out today of $40 and I accidentally sent an offer for $30. So that was my mistake. I would rather have gotten $40 for it, but it's been sitting here for a little while since, well, not that long, I guess, since February. It's been listed since March 13th and it's sold today. All of these things have the wrong dates on them for some reason. Okay, well, I'll worry about that later. The Shawnee, the bowling ball, the buyer paid $30 for it. The shipping, after all the shipping and the eBay fees and everything, I'm bringing home $29.54. So almost exactly the $30 that they paid for it. And that can happen when you don't have, when you get stuff for free. So, okay, total profit for today is $69.18. Right now, we're at an average profit per day during the month of August of 139.18, and our average profit per sale is just over $31. So we need this average per day to go up a lot. I mean, if we're not going to get it to be $200 a day during August, we need it to be that much. At least $200 a day, I think, for every day for the rest of the year. And that's unlikely to happen. So if I want to get that $50,000 goal for the year, I'm going to have to do something special to get there. And I just don't think it's going to happen. So anyway, that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow and every other day. I do this every day of the week. So please join me. Good night.